Journey with us through the sizzling timeline of culinary evolution. From ancient fire pits to modern molecular gastronomy on TopThangs, we're stirring up history in the most delicious way. Stay tuned. Welcome back to TopThangs. Now that we've set the stage with our sizzling timeline, let's dive deeper into the world of primitive cooking. In the beginning, it was all about fire, a crackling, raw element that was both feared and revered. Our ancestors, living in the harsh landscapes of prehistoric times, learned to harness this elemental force, turning it into a powerful tool for survival. Imagine a scene from tens of thousands of years ago. The night is dark, the air is cold, and the only source of light and warmth is a flickering fire. Here, our ancestors would gather, roasting chunks of meat skewered on long, sharpened sticks over the open flames. The heat would sear the meat, creating a charred exterior and a tender, juicy interior, a primitive yet mouth-watering feast. But fire was not just for meat. Our ingenious ancestors discovered they could use hot ashes and coals to cook as well. They would wrap food in leaves or bury it directly in the hot ash. This method was perfect for tubers and other root vegetables, which could be slow-cooked to perfection beneath the earth's surface. And thus, from the embers of the past, the art of cooking was born. This art would continue to evolve with the invention of hearths, ovens, and stoves, leading us to the culinary marvels we enjoy today. But that's a story for another time. Stay tuned as we continue to stir up history on TopThangs. As we continue our journey, we now turn our attention to the ancient civilizations and their significant contributions to the world of cooking. These societies were not just about survival, but about creating complex flavors and dishes that would tantalize the senses and nourish the soul. Let's start with the ancient Egyptians. They were, in many ways, the pioneers of baking. They were the first to discover the process of fermentation, which led to the creation of bread and beer. Imagine the bustling bakeries along the Nile, with the intoxicating aroma of fresh bread filling the air. The Egyptians were also known for their love of onions and garlic, which they believed had health-giving properties. Moving to ancient Greece, the Greeks introduced the concept of a balanced diet and the idea of food as medicine. They were masters of the Mediterranean diet, using olive oil, fish, fruits, vegetables, and grains as the foundation of their meals. They also developed the first cookbooks, changing the course of culinary history. Next, we head to ancient Rome, where the Romans took cooking to a whole new level. They loved their sauces and were known for their complex combinations of sweet, sour, and salty flavors. They also introduced the world to the concept of dining as a social activity, with elaborate feasts and banquets being a regular feature of Roman life. These ancient civilizations played a crucial role in shaping our culinary landscape. Their innovative and adventurous spirit laid the groundwork for the diverse and delicious food we enjoy today. Stay with us as we delve further into this fascinating journey of culinary evolution on TopThangs. Let's continue with our culinary journey through history. As we move forward from the ancient civilizations, we arrive in the Middle Ages, a time of knights, castles, and, most importantly for our story, the spice trade. The spice trade was a significant turning point in culinary history. For the first time, exotic spices like black pepper, cinnamon, cloves, and nutmeg, previously only available to the wealthy, began to spread across Europe and Asia. Just imagine the bustling markets filled with a rainbow of spices, their aromatic scents filling the air. The introduction of these spices not only added new flavors to the food, but also helped to preserve food in a time before refrigeration. The spice trade also brought about a blending of culinary cultures. Recipes and cooking techniques were shared along the trade routes, leading to a fusion of flavors and dishes. For instance, the influence of Middle Eastern cuisine began to be felt in Europe, with the introduction of ingredients like rice, sugar, and citrus fruits. But it wasn't just about food. The spice trade also played a pivotal role in world history, sparking exploration, competition, and conflict among nations. It was a time of discovery, innovation, and transformation, shaping the way we cook and eat today. It's fascinating to think about how something as small as a spice could have such a big impact, isn't it? Stay tuned as we continue our exploration of the history of cooking here on TopThangs. From the bustling markets of the Middle Ages, we now journey to the lavish banquets of the Renaissance. This era, known for its profound cultural and intellectual transformation, also brought about a revolution in the culinary world, the birth of haute cuisine. Haute cuisine, or high cooking, is often associated with meticulous preparation and presentation of food, and the Renaissance era played a significant role in its inception. As wealth and prosperity grew, so did the desire for extravagant and complex meals. The tables of the rich were adorned with a variety of dishes, each painstakingly prepared with a multitude of ingredients, including those exotic spices from the eastern trade routes. Two significant developments during this period had a profound effect on the way we cook today. The first was the introduction of the fork. This new utensil changed the way we eat and, in turn, the way we prepare food. Secondly, the invention of the printing press led to the publication of the first cookbooks, allowing recipes to be shared and preserved for future generations. Food became more than just sustenance. It was a form of art and a status symbol. The presentation of dishes became just as important as the taste. Meals often included elaborate displays, such as peacocks served with their feathers or swans gliding on ponds of aspic. But it wasn't all about the spectacle. The Renaissance also saw a shift towards lighter, more balanced meals. The heavy reliance on spices in medieval times was replaced with a focus on the natural flavors of the ingredients. This change was in part due to the influence of the medical community, which began to see a connection between diet and health. As we continue our journey through culinary history, let's appreciate the impact of the Renaissance on our modern dining experiences. From the intricate presentation of dishes in high-end restaurants to the recipes we share in our cookbooks, the legacy of this era is still very much alive. So, the next time you use a fork or follow a recipe, remember, you have the Renaissance to thank for that. Stay tuned as we explore more exciting chapters in the history of cooking here on TopThangs. From the grandeur of the Renaissance, our journey through culinary history now takes us to the Industrial Revolution. This period, spanning from the late 18th to early 19th centuries, was a time of significant technological innovation and social change that had profound effects on daily life, including the way we prepare and consume food. During this era, the advent of processed foods marked a major shift in our diets. As societies transitioned from agrarian to industrial, the need for convenient, long-lasting food options grew. This led to the development of canning, a revolutionary preservation technique that allowed food to be stored for extended periods without spoiling. The invention of the tin can in the early 19th century, followed by the can opener later that century, made canned foods accessible to the masses. New forms of transportation, such as steamships and railways, enabled the swift and efficient distribution of food across vast distances. This not only increased access to a wider variety of foods, but also allowed for the establishment of the global food trade. The Industrial Revolution also saw the birth of the factory system, which enabled mass production of food items. This led to a significant increase in the availability and affordability of food, but it wasn't without its downsides. The emphasis on quantity over quality resulted in nutritional compromises, and the era was also marked by questionable food safety practices. In the realm of cooking, the era brought about significant changes too. The invention of the cast iron stove replaced open hearths, making cooking safer and more efficient. This period also saw the introduction of baking soda and baking powder, revolutionizing the world of baking. As we reflect on the Industrial Revolution's impact on our food, it's clear that the era set the groundwork for the modern food industry. The convenience of canned and mass-produced foods, the global exchange of culinary ideas, and the technological advancements in cooking all have roots in this transformative era. But as we'll see in our next chapter, the culinary story doesn't end here. So, stay tuned as we delve deeper into the evolution of cooking here on TopThangs. Leaving behind the industrial smog, we now step into the vibrant and innovative era of modern cooking. As we entered the 20th century, cooking began to take a more scientific approach. The advent of electricity brought with it electric stoves, refrigerators, and a host of small appliances that made cooking and food preservation easier and more efficient. The invention of the microwave oven in the mid-20th century revolutionized how we heat and cook food, further emphasizing convenience and speed in the kitchen. But perhaps the most exciting development of the modern era is the introduction of molecular gastronomy. This discipline, which emerged in the late 20th century, marries science with cooking to create a unique and thrilling dining experience. By applying principles of chemistry and physics to cooking, chefs are able to manipulate the textures and flavors of food in ways previously thought impossible. Imagine a dish where caviar-like spheres burst in your mouth to release the flavors of a full English breakfast, or a cocktail served as an edible jelly-like cube. This is the magic of molecular gastronomy. It challenges our perceptions of what food can be and how it can be presented. Pioneered by chefs like Ferran Adrià of El Bulli in Spain and Heston Blumenthal of the Fat Duck in the UK, molecular gastronomy has taken the culinary world by storm and continues to push the boundaries of what's possible in the kitchen. But while this scientific approach to cooking is a prominent feature of the modern era, it's not the only story. The 20th and 21st centuries have also seen a resurgence in appreciation for traditional artisanal food preparation methods. From slow food movements to farm-to-table dining, there's been a renewed interest in knowing where our food comes from and how it's prepared. So, as we wrap up our culinary journey through time, it's clear that the story of cooking is a rich and varied tapestry, woven from threads of innovation, tradition, and cultural exchange. From the ancient hearths of our ancestors to the lab-like kitchens of molecular gastronomy, the evolution of cooking is a testament to our enduring relationship with food. As we look to the future, who knows what exciting culinary innovations await us? Stay tuned for our next culinary adventure, and remember, cooking is not just about nourishment, it's an art, it's a science, and most importantly, it's a way to connect with others and the world around us. Let's keep exploring, keep tasting, and keep cooking with TopThangs. As we leave the bustling kitchens of modern cooking and molecular gastronomy behind, we now step into an uncharted territory, the future of cooking. A future that is being shaped by technology, sustainability, and innovation. What could it hold? The answer, my friends, is as exciting as it is unknown. Imagine this. You're in your kitchen, but it doesn't look like any kitchen you've seen before. There's a gadget on your countertop, not much bigger than a microwave. You input your dietary preferences, allergies, and the type of cuisine you're craving. Within minutes, you have a perfectly balanced gourmet meal, tailored to your exact taste. This isn't a scene from a sci-fi movie. It's a very real possibility with the advent of 3D printed food. Companies are already experimenting with 3D printers that can create complex food items, from pizzas to intricate chocolate designs. But the future of cooking isn't just about flashy technology. It's also about sustainability. With the global population set to reach 9.7 billion by 2050, finding sustainable ways to feed everyone is a pressing concern. Enter lab-grown meat, also known as cultured or cell-based meat. It's real meat grown from animal cells in a lab without the need for traditional livestock farming. This could dramatically reduce the environmental impact of meat production without compromising on taste or texture. And let's not forget about the role of artificial intelligence. From smart ovens that can recognize the food you're cooking and adjust the temperature accordingly, to AI-powered apps that can suggest recipes based on what's in your fridge, artificial intelligence is set to revolutionize the way we cook and eat. But even as we look forward to these exciting innovations, let's not lose sight of what makes cooking so special. The joy of creating, the satisfaction of sharing a meal with loved ones, and the sense of connection that food can bring. No matter what the future holds, these are the ingredients that will always make cooking a delicious adventure. So, buckle up, culinary explorers. The future of cooking is just around the corner, and it promises to be a journey like no other. Until our next food adventure, keep exploring, keep innovating, and above all, keep cooking. Thank you for watching Top Thangs.